All right, here we go. We are reading Aidan of Oren. The journey begins, and we are on chapter 3, which is called Charles the Great, page 25. Here we go. The warm aroma coming from the stove swept pleasantly over Aidan as he entered. Grandmama greeted him from across the room with a wink. She was her usual cheerful self, not showing any signs of the earlier morning distraction. As Aidan joined Mackenzie at the table for a bowl of hot barley, he watched his grandmama move gracefully from the stove to the pantry, always busy, always humming or singing, always giving advice. She was the smartest person in the world. Aidan was sure of it, and she was a very good cook. Hello, is there anyone home? Lily's voice drifted from the front door to the kitchen. She and Mackenzie were Aidan's two closest friends in the world. The girls shared a room down the street at the House of Kintz, a home for orphans. Well, good morning, Lily, said Grandmama as she walked toward the door. You're just in time for breakfast. It seems that Mackenzie got the jump on you today. Well, good morning to you, said Lily as she walked in and politely hugged Grandmama. So then Mackenzie is here? She sure is, called Aidan from the table. You should see how much she's eating. Mackenzie, said Lily as she entered the room, did you get all of your chores done this morning? Mackenzie had a mouthful of food and could only utter a mm-hmm. She took a moment to swallow and grinned over at Lily. I woke up this morning while it was still dark and decided to get my chores done early. All right, but next time just let me know when you're leaving without me so I don't worry. Aidan watched as Lily took a seat across the table from him. He marveled at her maturity. Even though she was a year younger than he, she was always the one who could make sense out of everything. Her black, silky hair, dark skin, and green eyes made her unique in all of Oren. Although a child herself, she was the mother that Mackenzie never had. Neither Lily, nor Mackenzie, nor Aidan for that matter, had ever known their parents. Many children hadn't, given the recent war, but the three of them had been friends ever since they could remember, sharing a bond stronger than blood. When not doing their chores, they would spend every waking moment together. Often they would venture up to the meadow, where they would lay back and look at the sky, as Aidan recited the exciting stories he had heard the night before. Lily and Mackenzie loved to hear them, and would hang on every word as Aidan told the stories over and over again. Lily broke the silence. Grandmama, breakfast is delicious, as always. Oh, thank you, Lily. It is always nice to see the three of you together. We're going on an adventure today, beamed Mackenzie. Is that right? Asked Grandmama as she bent down and hugged her. Just what kind of an adventure do you mean? Oh, I don't know, she said. Yesterday, Aidan said we could go on an adventure. I was so excited I could hardly sleep. Grandmama, said Aidan, we're going to explore the path up to the village. Well, that sounds like a wonderful adventure, children. While you're exploring, would you mind terribly picking up a few things at the market? But, started Aidan. Well, of course we don't mind, interrupted Lily as she shot a warning glance across the table. Isn't that right, Aidan? We could have an adventure at the market, exclaimed Mackenzie. Oh, my dear boy, started Grandma. Is there any reason you don't want to go to the market for me? It's because of the Braddock boys, Mackenzie blurted out. They make fun of Aidan because he has reddish hair. Aidan, who had lost his appetite, shuffled in his seat. Oh, said Grandmama. You're talking about little Eric and Kyle? They're not little anymore, interrupted Aidan. Eric is 15 years old now. Lily tried to reason with Aidan that the boys were just teasing. Mackenzie was giggling and saying something about how Aidan could beat them both up. And Grandmama was speaking softly as she stood behind Mackenzie, braiding her beautiful blonde hair. Aidan could not hear them, though. He had drifted off in the thought to the Braddock brothers. He just knew that the moment they saw him, they would begin teasing him about his hair, calling him a sissy. But it wouldn't stop there. They also teased him because he spent a lot of time with Lily and Mackenzie. The thought of going anywhere near them, made him shudder. Aidan, Grandmama's stern voice brought him back to reality. I need you to go to the market. Do you understand me? Aidan nodded and Grandmama's voice softened. You're such a timid boy, Aidan. Someday you will learn that the only thing to be afraid of is, well, being afraid. As for your hair, it's beautiful. Why, it's the color of fire. That's why your mother and father named you Aidan. Your name means fire. But the Braddock brothers, I know all about them, and I know for a fact that their family is experiencing some difficulty. Sometimes people have to make others miserable to make them feel better about their own life. Maybe pity would be a better emotion to extend to them. Aidan sat straight up in his seat. He was feeling much better and started laughing. All right, I will be certain to let them know of my concern when they beat me into the ground. Grandmama reached across the table and teasingly mussed his hair. What does my name mean? Asked Mackenzie impatiently. And mine, asked Lily as politely as she could. Mackenzie, said Grandmama as a wry smile spread across her wrinkled face, your name means little warrior. Oh my, exclaimed Aidan. Whoever named her sure got that one right. Lily, she continued, your name is rooted in purity and wisdom. Well, that's uncanny, said Aidan, this time a little more sober. How could two names be so accurate? I counted 3, said Grandmama. Mackenzie jumped out of her chair and started dancing around the room. We're going exploring in the village. Children, said Grandmama, exploring can be great fun, but take care that you do not trespass in forbidden areas. You'll need to watch out for each other and make sure you stay together. Aidan, you will see to that, won't you? I will. You don't have to worry, he said, with renewed confidence. We'll want to get started soon, said Lily. We may want to pack a lunch for ourselves. Grandmama, please make a list of what you need so we don't forget anything. Excuse me, came a shrill voice. Charles, Aidan's pet falcon, walked into the room. Did anyone think to ask me about this little quest? The path up to the village can be very treacherous. We need to think this through before we just scurry off. And besides, it's a long walk, a very long walk. These little legs have to work a lot harder than yours. I don't know if I can do it. Charles paused and ruffled his bright red feathers. You were going to ask me to go with you, weren't you? Everyone laughed. Although flightless, Charles had the gift of speech. Talking animals were not uncommon in Lionsgate, but Charles was the only bird Aidan knew who could speak. Charles, said Aidan, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're really more of a chicken than a falcon. I am not a chicken, exclaimed Charles. I am a regal falcon from the royal family of Wingdom. Oh, Charles, Grandmama said, you are such a tender bird. We may just have to eat you for lunch. Again, the room filled with laughter. Aidan was laughing so hard that he almost fell off his chair. All right, go ahead and laugh, said Charles as he turned to walk out of the room. But if you're going on a journey, you'll need a scout, and you wouldn't want to eat the scout now, would you? Mackenzie looked at Grandmama and whispered, We're really not going to eat him, are we? Grandma leaned down to kiss her on the forehead. Not today, dear, she winked. Not today.